actual refuge is really a dharma, right? So the actual dharma is is not the books, not the teachings, not the messages. And the real dharma is your own spiritual development. And you do gain your spiritual development because you have overcome those negatives. Each negative you have overcome, you gain positivity by overcoming that negativity. These very positivities are called spiritual development. These very positivities are called real dharma within us. Okay, one, let's say example, one, avoiding killing. There's an opportunity comes for you to kill, you see it, you have the opportunity, you decided not to. So when you abandon that killing and you gain positivity of no killing, that very positivity you gain is your development, one of your gains. And that's your dharma, one little point. And there's a huge dharma thing, but whole development, but these are how it's built by drop by drop. Example. So that seems to be the actual refuge, true refuge, but not in terms of true, absolute truth and relative terms of, and that's not it. In the absolute refuge, Uta Tantra says, Dharma is not absolute refuge, Sangha is not absolute refuge, but the absolute refuge is Buddha. Tuba chui ji gu yin ji so jan de yi to do ji. I have to remember this. Bang ji lu wei chui yin ji, mei ji ji dan ji wei ji, chuan de ni dan pa pa so, dan ji jim zhou ma yin de is. It's interesting. When you talk about the Buddha's teaching, you talk about it, that's the Dharma part, right? Buddha's teaching, you talk about the two different things you're talking together. One, relative Dharma, which is the teaching of these three Pitakas and four Tantras, and all of those are the relative. All of those are called informational aspects of a Buddha's teaching. The other, as the result of that informational aspects, spiritual development. Excuse me. Spiritual development within the individual, and that is spiritual development, dharma. Spiritual development, dharma. So the terminology in Tibetan is lungi chungur and the tokpa chungur. Why I do say this, I have to bring that, because I don't want to bring this a little more additional thing, but I don't want to. But I do have to, because this Uta Tantra word says, Pangji luwe chujen ji mechin jingdan jebich, chuan no nye da pape so, tenchi jam jo mayi nos. The informational aspects of the Buddha's teaching is not an absolute refuge, because it is just to give you information, but When your actual development comes, it will be thrown away as untouchable. You know, something that catch your hand, so you dump. So actual development comes, the information is supposed to be thrown away rather than cherishing it. So another word is when absolute development comes, there will be nothing dual. It's absolutely non-dual. Anything dual will be boom out. I don't know why Pancha Sonam use the word singda, something that catch you, so you throw it away. So because in the absolute Dharma is Dharma at the meditative state of Mahayana special beings. And that is called really true emptiness, direct encounter with the emptiness. And at that level, everything else, informational, everything has to be blocked out. And even then, not only that, in that meditative area, special meditative state, has no relative perception at all. There will be no relative perception at all. So it is only absolute emptiness, nothing else. And that's why projection of space like nothing else, nothingness, emptiness. All of those comes out, vocabularies comes out because of that state. And it corresponds well with our death stage. Our dying stage, when your dying stage comes, death stage, all relative things are withdrawn, disappears. You retreat. You're retreating from this life. So everything that you see, hear, talk, everything has been retreating. So at the true death stage, there's a nothing. Nothing. No relative for whatsoever. No relative for whatsoever. So sort of absolute nothing. So that corresponds very well with the absolute Dharma. So informational aspects of the Buddha's teachings are Dharma, but not absolute Dharma. Because this is information, and the actual, when you reach to that level, when you're encountering, it should be thrown away. So that's why it's not absolute refuge. Sangha is a great help, great guide, great everything, but it's not an absolute. Puncture, puncture, maybe I shouldn't go that detail here because it may confuse many people. I mean, instead of contributing. Anyway, so the Sangha is also true refuge, but not an absolute refuge, because Sangha really means, we talked about 8 qualities of the Sangha. And each one of us who will claim to be Sangha member, a Sangha, is not, the membership is not depend on the thing, the membership fee which you voluntarily pay to Jolhad or not. That's not depend on that. And that is probably depend on that is because of the book purposes, and it is. And as long as if you have an identity, and then and if you have it, and that's what that purpose is. But if you take that identity, when you die, show to the Lord of Death, say, I paid the Sangha membership. I don't know whether you can do that or not. But on the other hand, if you give the membership, and that Lord of Death will probably see in the mirror of karma, and there will be a long, good credit for you. Honestly, and I'm not joking here either. But it's not the definition. The Sangha definition is the Sangha quality. So that quality, and basically bottom line, to a quality of seeing and a quality of liberating. So these two, 8 boils down to 2. So at both Buddhas and Dhammas and Sanghas, all of those. So it's the seeing and the purity. And so that is the Sangha quality. And when you get those qualities, and you become a Sangha member. And if you don't have those qualities, even you have a receipt, and doesn't not necessarily become a Sangha member either. But it is the quality, and that makes. So that's why exceptional we make many times. Many people who cannot afford to, we make them a Sangha because their quality is there. And then we're supposed to judge that quality. Anyway, so if you have the quality, you're Sangha. And if you don't have the quality, then you pay it. And that's joking. All right. So then, anyway, Sangha is a helper, great help to you, and no doubt, and particularly being Sangha. Normally the word Sangha here means assembly. Assembly is more than 4 full-fledged Buddhist vow person. But that vow does not go into this Vajrayana vow. And they only talk about Sudrayana vow and vow. Actually, it's not a part of those 10 instructions, but normally they linked up with this is that there are 20 different aspects of Sangha. Both Hinayana and Mahayana path. 20 different, mostly Hinayana path. So the 20 different aspects of the Sangha, I'm not planning to talk about it, but basically these streamliners, 1 return, no more learning, basically 4. And that 4 is multiplied by 5 or something, and that becomes 20 anyway. So 4 times is 20, isn't it? So that is how it is. So just mentioned to you, and that's sort of very high ranking. Streamliner is the beginning, and then 1 time return, and no more return, and no more learning. So these are also so that is sort of 20 different divisions of the Sangha. So that's how it is. And that also great help, great refuge, but not absolute refuge. Tuba Pangchir Lube Chujinchi, Matches Jita Jebech, Trenamania Pabaso, then Jimjo Mainos. That makes the three kaya natural. Buddha, the Buddha, three kaya natural Buddha is the only absolute refuge. Why? Because that Buddha found Dharmakaya. Did you get it? No. I draw a little attention, but what does become Buddha mean? When you become Buddha, your mind becomes Dharmakaya. Your mind become absolute, single-pointed, single-focused emptiness. A becoming, not seeing, not meeting, becoming, oneness. That's called Dharmakaya. Remember? We have Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. That's Dharmakaya. 4 kayas. Actually, it's the forms. Buddha has a very special 4 forms. Form of natural, Dharmakaya. Form of exclusive, Sambhogakaya. A form of manifestation, Nirmanakaya. And a form of natural reality, 4 kayas. Normal sadhanas, we'll talk about it, 3 kayas. 4th kaya is the natural reality. Not that much difference between the Dharmakaya and natural reality kaya. Almost the same, different way of looking.